Rachel, Brittany, I am here in Danville tonight where police are investigating a camera found in a local Walmart bathroom. It was thanks to a 10 News tip that led police to the investigation. I spoke to customers today about their concerns, and they tell me that it's unsettling. Guys, here in Blacksburg, people are showing up and stepping out for the 41st annual Stepping Out Festival. Now, over 200 vendors are lining the street here today, but one local businessman remembers when stepping out looked a little different. I'm here in Virginia Tech today, and let me tell you, campus is absolutely buzzing as thousands of college students make their way into Blacksburg to start their college journey. It will reopen tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. and run 9 to 5 until Thursday. In Blacksburg, Abby Coleman, 10 News, working for you. Daphne, it has been over a year and a half since the January 6th insurrection. And less than an hour ago, the judge handed down the sentence for a Rocky Mountain police officer, Jacob Fracker. Later this week, thousands of college students will be moving in and making new homes in dorms just like this one here behind me at Virginia Tech. But in a time of high inflation and economic uncertainty, it leaves both parents and students to pick up the extra cost. Virginia Tech is one of the many Virginia schools that is complying with Governor Youngkin's request to freeze tuition rates for the upcoming school year. This takes a little bit of the pressure off of college students during a time of high inflation. In Blacksburg, Abby Coleman, 10 News, working for you.
Football season is underway, and tonight one player had an experience he will never forget. 10 News reporter Abby Coleman spoke with the William Fleming student who said that playing in a game has been his dream.
Tyree Tosco is a colonel from his head to his feet.
You could tell right away he's special.
Tyree has spent his life being told he couldn't do things, from being told he wouldn't be able to walk and talk to defying the odds.
He has always had a challenge of some sort, but he's always smiled.
Over 20 surgeries later, Tyree is not only walking, but running. And tonight, even playing football.
That was my dream.
Tyree was an honorary captain during a game last season, and since then, his one-on-one aide Mark Harrison says that he's been ready to be on the field.
It's been something he's been wanting to do forever, and it's just going to, I'm hoping I can hold back the tears.
This is tackle somebody.
Fleming head coach Jamar Lovelace worked out a plan to get Tyree on the field during tonight's game against Albemarle.
I've told a lot of people how this puts everything in such a sharp perspective.
Tyree geared up as the game drew closer.
I'm hearing a lot about you, man. Hey, don't you beat up on us too much.
But he was never worried about his big moment. Are you nervous?
No.
You're not nervous. Finally, with friends and family watching, Tyree had his touchdown.
I'm gonna start dancing.
And he did just that. In Roanoke, Abby Coleman, 10 News, working for you.
New tonight at 6. After unimaginable tragedy, one family is trying to create a long-lasting legacy for their son.
10 News reporter Abby Coleman spoke today to the people behind Aaron's mission to see how they're keeping a lifelong passion alive.
Aaron Dean is remembered by his family as...
Oh, very stubborn. Yes.
Very stubborn. His way was the best, and
you better figure it out.
And sometimes he proved that.
But according to his mom, Sandra, and brother Thomas, the thing that he was most stubborn about was his career goals.
He knew at a very young age he wanted to be a missionary, though. Mm-hmm. And he got saved when he was 5. And it was real. He knew what he was doing.
Faith was evident by his missions work in third world countries like Guatemala, until he passed on Valentine's Day 2021 from an unexpected illness.
Now, when I look back, I think it was just God.
His passing was a shock to his community.
2 of us thought he was just going to come, he was going to walk back in our house.
Throughout his many surgeries and doctor's appointments, Sandra said that his faith never wavered.
He was not afraid. He said, if I die, he said, the worst thing that could happen to me is I'll die and I'll get to see Jesus before you.
After his passing, Aaron's family wanted to plan the funeral his way. And Aaron's dad, Brian, did just that.
Aaron loved missions. Let's forget about flowers and donate.
They're going to be gone in a week.
Yeah.
Let's not worry about the flowers.
Yeah. He said, let's do something that'll last for eternity.
They raised enough money for Aaron's good friend Jesse to get through the first phase of his missions trip to Indonesia. And that's when the idea for Aaron's mission clicked into place.
This little voice saying, that's what I want you to do.
With the help of his family, Thomas began to put together a foundation that would support missionaries both financially and emotionally. Aaron's mission officially kicks off on August 30th, what would have been his 26th birthday, with an event at the Taubman. His family hopes that this is just the start of preserving his legacy.
We loved him so much.
Abby Coleman, working for you.
A world-renowned poet, activist, and Virginia Tech icon is retiring after 35 years as an English teacher. A 10 News reporter Abby Coleman sat down with Nikki Giovanni today as she reflects on an unimaginable career.
Virginia Tech is the only job Nikki Giovanni has ever known.
This opportunity came to come here. There was a job, and I really didn't know what you do with a job.
35 years later, she says she didn't want to spend her time anywhere else.
People ask you, why are you at Virginia Tech, but this is my family.
Giovanni is ready to step back after receiving 30 honorary degrees and a Grammy nomination.
It was good to retire before I got fired.
The internationally renowned poet and activist may be retiring from Virginia Tech, but she isn't done. Her new children's book, The Library, is debuting at the Library of Congress this fall.
There's a clock ticking somewhere, and if I don't get some of the things written that I want to get written, the clock will stop ticking.
The Virginia Tech icon is also remembered for her writing after the Virginia Tech shooting in 2007.
What do you want to say at this tragedy? Well, you want to remind us who we are, and we are Virginia Tech.
That same work led her to Richmond, where she met the Queen of England.
Came to Richmond, she asked her people to call Virginia Tech to ask if I would be willing, as they put it, to meet her. And I said, you got to be kidding. And that's how I met Queen Elizabeth II.
She hopes students will not forget her work in the classroom.
And some didn't like me, I understood that, but I think that they will agree that I created a safe space that you could create what you wanted to create.
As she departs from the campus, Giovanni knows she will always have a home at Virginia Tech.
I had a family when I came, but I still do.
In Blacksburg, Abby Coleman, 10 News, working for you.
Now, we told you earlier this week about another apartment fire, this one in southwest Roanoke, leaving nearly 100 people displaced and one person dead. Today, 10 News reporter Abby Coleman spoke to residents who say that nearly a week later, they're out of money with nowhere to go.
Tuesday night's fire at the Stratford apartment complex in Roanoke forced Benny Blankenship and nearly 100 others from their homes.
Didn't know what was going on, and now I just know that we're here. Red Cross has put it up here for 5 days.
Blankenship has been staying at the Best Western in Roanoke along with about 25 other residents. The residents received around $500 from the Red Cross for a hotel. But for Blankenship and many others, that money runs out tomorrow.
We got a letter from the landlord saying it's going to take 2 weeks for them to fix what needs to be done. So by the time I leave here tomorrow morning, I have at least 9-10 days of nowhere to go or anything to get myself situated.
Tammy Carr is also staying at the Best Western.
Especially when people have to get clothes and food too.
While the residents received letters under their door from the complex, Carr is upset that they have not been called and updated.
We ain't heard from nobody from the apartment complex. It's like they just got us out the building. We ain't heard from nobody.
Blankenship just wants a place to lay his head.
They're doing the best that they can, and in this situation too, I just think that we need more help getting us situated, the people, before they worry about focusing on fixing the place.
Carr says she and her mother will have nowhere to go as of tomorrow morning.
We all going back out in the street.
But the residents are working together to stay afloat.
Not leave one behind.
In Roanoke, Abby Coleman, 10 News, working for you.
New at 6, a little boy's legacy lives on in a touching way. 10 News reporter Abby Coleman spoke with his family and learned how the New River Valley community is also helping to keep his memory alive.
Parker Coleman is remembered by his friends and family as
an old man stuck in a 4-year-old's body, but he was always so happy, so calm, laid back.
Parker was born with a condition that forced him to be in and out of hospitals his entire life.
Lee syndrome, which is a mitochondrial disorder, so there's currently no treatment or cures.
Sarah said his love for superheroes and firefighters shone through even in times of struggle. So the Christiansburg Fire Department stepped in to make a wish come true.
They brought, I think, every single fire truck that they had to our house in our neighborhood and surprised Parker, and they made him an honorary fireman and gave him his own fire suit.
The fire department continues to honor Parker after his passing in 2017.
All the guys got together and they thought that'd be a great way to honor him, is to make him an honorary member of our fire department, and that same year, he was voted Fireman of the Year by his peers.
That was really special. A big surprise to us. Very emotional night, but yeah, just unbelievable.
Sarah and husband Brian wanted to expand his legacy, so they created a toy drive in his honor.
Parker loves superheroes, and the kids in the hospital are superheroes, so we thought we would collect superhero toys.
What started as 300 superhero toys has expanded to over 1,000 toys of all kinds 5 years later. And the Christiansburg Fire Department has been there every step of the way.
They dropped the donations off at our house, and I was just going through the bag, and it was like a bottomless bag.
The toys are donated to Carilion Hospital every year in August near Parker's birthday.
It's not fun to be here, right? So we have to find ways to make kids and families feel a little bit more comfortable, and a lot of that is bringing in elements of home, elements of fun and joy.
The Colemans continue to cherish their relationship with the fire department years after Parker's passing.
Incredibly thankful that they're just as committed to, keeping his memory alive as we are.
Abby Coleman, 10 News, working for you.